and I'm just keeping it real with you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Keeping It Real podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Mike Starks. Welcome back to the Keeping It Real podcast, the entertainment podcast where I rant, rate, and review movies, TV shows, and music. Ladies and gentlemen, today on the podcast, I'm here to discuss M3GAN.
I designed M3GAN to protect Katie from feeling lonely. She will recognize you as her primary user. And when you do that, you're going to pair with her.
Crazy. It's insane, right?
Oh, don't I look nice? Biting my eyes. Isn't it pure perfection?
M3GAN, your goal is to protect Katie from harm, both physical and emotional.
1, 2, 3, 4. I declare some war. I won't let anything harm you. I love her.
M3GAN's not a person, Katie.
You don't get to say that.
Things that you can play with me. You better watch your back. The last thing that you hear will be my love.
M3GAN, what are you doing?
Couldn't sleep. Occupational hazard.
Got your full attention.
No! Stop!
What the hell is that?
You should probably run.
Don't provoke, 'cause we will push you downhill. Bitter as much as we're sweet.
I won't let anything harm you ever again.
M3GAN,
Have I done something to upset you, Gemma?
I know you think you're maximizing your objective function.
Oh, really?
Sugar and spice and everything nice. No, that's not what we're made of.
M3GAN?
Baby doll skill. Don't provoke, 'cause we will go.
We'd have to shut her down.
Jesus Christ, I thought we were friends.
Be pretty, but with
I have a new primary user now. Me. Did M3GAN do something bad?
What's going on? What are you?
I'm M3GAN.
baby doll skill. Don't provoke, 'cause we will.
M3GAN, definitely. Here on the Keeping It Real podcast, ladies and gentlemen, I have a rating system A through F, and A is a perfect movie, needs no changes. B is a good movie that needs some changes. C is a good movie that's going to need a lot of changes, probably a one-time wonder, maybe a one and done. D is a bad movie, no amount of changes are going to save this movie, don't even waste your time with it. And a rating of F is a movie so bad that it's good, actually. It's weird, it's corny, the CGI is off, the acting is bad, but you can probably still watch it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about M3GAN, a 2022 movie with the stars of Jenna Davis as M3GAN, Allison Williams as Gemma, Violet McCraw as Katie, and Ronny Chieng as David. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to say this. I don't really know any of these actors except for Ronny Chieng. I know he's a great comedian. I know he's been in movies and things like that. That's about the only star I really know. I'm pretty sure these other people have been in other movies and things like that, but that's the one that stood out for me. I know who Ronny Chieng is. I know he's fantastic. He's funny. He's done late night. He's done stand-up. This man has done movies. Brilliant man. He did a pretty damn good job in this movie, too. Ladies and gentlemen, this movie is directed by Gerard Johnston.
Katie, you lost your parents.
Welcome home.
You're my niece. I'm going to do everything I can to make this place feel like home.
I just wish I could see them again.
I'm not equipped to handle this. I don't even take care of my own plants. I have this project at work. Do you want to see?
Yes.
Ever since I was little, I dreamed of this perfect toy that would protect a kid from ever feeling lonely or sad. This is Megan.
Hi, Megan. I'm Katie. It's nice to meet you, Katie. Do you want to hang out? Okay.
Megan, your goal is to protect Katie from harm, both physical and emotional.
Is that a doll?
Model 3 generative android. Megan for short.
I can't believe you made this. I love it.
Wanna hang out, yeah, sounds like fun.
Great job.
It's nice to have a friend.
It's honestly like she's part of the family now.
They could be building emotional connections that are too hard to untangle.
She's the happiest she's been since her parents died. Eat the toppings, Katie.
Research shows if you force a child to eat vegetables, they'll be less likely to choose those foods as adults.
Is that so?
Yes, experts say.
Megan, turn off.
I thought we were having a conversation.
Does she talk? Make her say something.
Stop! Don't! Megan! You should probably run. Megan, she pushed Brandon onto the road. I won't let anything harm you.
It's nice to have a friend.
Megan, turn off.
Recalibrating response model. Megan!
It's nice to have a friend.
What's wrong with you? Don't worry, Katie. I won't let anything harm you. Ever again.
It's nice to have a friend.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me give you the movie breakdown about this movie. Gemma is a brilliant roboticist who invents Megan, an artificial intelligence lifelike doll programmed to be a child's companion. She has unexpectedly become the caretaker for her 8-year-old niece and wants to test a prototype on her with unimaginable consequences. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be discussing this movie right here. I know part 2 just came out and everything else. So before I get into that one, I'm going to go into the original one here. And basically the premise of this movie is this woman who is a brilliant roboticist who deals with robots, making robotic toys and that nature like that. Works with this company, wants to come up with the newest thing because her previous weird looking type of toy and everything else, whatever, is just not a hit. Somebody else copied it, made a cheaper version of it or whatever else. It's pretty much doing it pretty good. She has made a robot before. So in the movie they showed she made this big giant clunky mega robot thing, kind of a mecha thing. And she just wanted to work on making a child for it, her niece. Now in this movie, basically what happens in this movie is that, okay, her niece is with her because her parents they died in a car accident. And one thing I got to say about the car accident that happens at the beginning of this movie, which kind of leads up to why she's living with her and everything else. Her parents are driving in a snowstorm and everything else, and they can't see and everything else. They get smacked by an oncoming snow truck and everything else. The parents die, and then the child has to go live with her aunt. Her aunt is, like I said, a roboticist, works for a company or whatever else. She is not around children at all. She don't know the first thing about children. She just makes toys for them and everything else. But as far as like being around children and raising them, anything else, none of that shit. Not exactly the type of person that they should have put this child with. So of course, the counselor comes out there, wants to speak to her and everything else. They're telling her, hey, this doesn't work out for you and everything else. We could just put this child with the father's family. And she's like, no, I got it and everything else. So this is a very awkward thing to put this niece with her. She's about 9 years old and everything else. Her parents have passed away. There's scenes in there where the girl is, she's sobbing and crying. She's obviously going through it and everything else. One of the things I found very strange about this movie is in the movie, however they wrote this or whatever else, the sister Gemma, like her sister died, the mother of the niece that came to stay with her and everything else, and she didn't seem like she was breathing at all. And they didn't establish like, hey, did you not have a relationship with your sister or nothing? Like she just passed away recently and now you're taking care of your niece. I thought it was kind of odd that they didn't like show her like showing some sort of grief, like, hey, your sister just passed away and everything. Like, don't you want to act like it? It was pretty weird. She was so emotionally invested in her work and everything else that she didn't even think, hey, my niece just passed away and her husband. I mean, my sister just passed away and her husband, and now I'm taking care of her niece. So I don't know. That to me just seemed kind of awkward or whatever else. Like, I don't know. There were a lot of things about this movie that I thought were kind of awkward. I'm going to discuss those as we go along, ladies and gentlemen.
M3GAN?
If you're hearing this, you're not currently on our subscriber feed.
Get off of her! Stop it! You're hurting her!
Dewey? Oh my God. How many times do I have to tell you to keep your dog off my property?
He wasn't on your property. You tell those two girls to stay on your side of the fence.
I swear to God, if you don't put your dog down, I'm gonna do it for you, Celia.
Gemma, Kitty's temperature is rising. Her wound needs to be disinfected immediately.
This wouldn't have happened if you'd fixed the fence.
Are you kidding me? Her entire arm looks like a dental mold, and you're telling me that there's nothing that we can do.
She said he was provoked.
Provoked? Have you seen this dog? It is a monster. I'm chasing it off of my property every other day.
She said he's never on your property.
Well, then why don't you ask her whose shit I'm cleaning off of my driveway? Because it's not mine.
Look, the dog doesn't have a history of violence. State law says he can't forcibly be put down.
Okay, then what am I supposed to do?
Fix the hole in your fence?
So, ladies and gentlemen, there are a lot of scenes like this where there's the interaction between the child, Katie, who got bit by a dog and everything else, and the neighbor has a hole in her fence. The dog got through bit and everything else. Before I talk about that specific scene and everything else, I kind of want to set up how the movie got to the point where she built this robot. So obviously she'd been in her lab or whatever else trying to figure out how to create this new robot and everything else. And so they're creating a skeleton for this thing and the mainframe for it and everything else. And there was already problems from the beginning. Like they couldn't get like the facial mold off of it. There was like a weird smirk and everything else. And then it was glitching from the beginning and everything else. And I guess she had took some of the company's money and went ahead, built this robot in private. And then like their manager, David, who's played by Ronny Chieng, comes down there and finds out she's trying to make this robot. She's like, no. He's like, no. He wants her to go ahead and continue to make these little Furby type of things that she'd been making before for the kids to try to keep up with the competition and all that. She continues to go ahead and work on her side project. And with her niece moving in with her and everything else, she thought it would be a perfect way to go ahead and test out her new AI robot. So she makes an AI robot for her niece and everything else. Her and her little team, she's got like a team of people she was working on with whatever. And she does like the coding and all the stuff and the body and the hair and everything else. So she makes this M3GAN doll, which is an AI robot, 4 feet tall, looks exactly like a 9-year-old girl and everything else, supposed to be a companion to children. They mentioned in the movie this AI robot's like not cheap at all. It's like $10,000 and it's fully interactive. It acts like it's alive and everything else, which is bizarre and weird. So she takes this thing or whatever else, the child is adapting to it and having fun with the interacting with it and everything else. And so there's a scene where M3GAN is in the window and she's basically just watching over Katie, who's outside. She's playing with a little bow and arrow and everything. She couldn't find one of her little bow and arrow things, and it went by the fence where the dog is at. So of course Katie goes over there where the hole in the fence is, and there's the neighbor's dog. She kind of reaches under the fence to go grab her arrow that goes to her bow and arrow, and the dog bites her. So that's kind of a setup for what happened with that. So M3GAN goes out there. She goes to reach for the bow and arrow thing to go give it to her. She gets kind of bit and everything else. And so in an attempt to have Katie go over there and take Megan away from the dog that was biting her. She gets bit too, and her arm gets chewed up. And so, of course, the police get involved in all that. And Gemma, she's kind of talking to the police like, hey, is there something we can do about that? Now, what I found very interesting before this whole scene right here was that, okay, her and her neighbor, whatever else, you know, her dog comes onto her property, onto her lawn, shits on her lawn. It's a very annoying situation. She's very like passive aggressive about this whole thing. So I'm just watching this like, okay, if your neighbor dog is coming onto your property and shitting on your lawn, being in the way and everything else, whatever, I would not be that cool and shit. Because this is a big dog too. It's like a German Shepherd or whatever. So she doesn't have it on a leash. It's not tied up. It's not inside of a doghouse or her fence or whatever else. Now I get it. Gemma probably should have like patched a hole in her fence and everything. That's on the neighbor too, not to have a big ass German Shepherd that comes into your property. So that's crazy. So yeah, Megan sees that Katie gets hurt and everything else and decides to plot to go and get this dog. So she fakes the voice of the owner, the neighbor, and gets the dog to follow her and takes the dog. So that was the scene for that one. Very interesting. Which kind of plays out in the rest of the movie too. We find out that Megan can actually clone people's voices and things like that.
You made her cry.
That was not my intention.
And yet, that's what happened.
She's very impressive.
Yeah, thank you. We're still in beta, but we're all pretty excited.
And so they spend quite a bit of time together.
Yeah, that's essentially how M3GAN works. She has to be paired with a child in order to learn. But M3GAN's actually been pretty instrumental in helping Katie get over the loss. It's honestly like she's part of the family now.
Right. Do you know anything about attachment theory? When a child loses a parent, they look to form attachments with the next person that comes into their life. The person that's going to provide love and support and serve as a behavioral model. Which, in an ordinary situation, would be you, right? But you've created a toy that's so real, it's possible that Katie might not see her as a toy, but as a primary caregiver. I guess I just don't quite see what the end goal is here. If you make a toy that's impossible to let go of, then how do you ever expect a child to grow? As remarkable as she is, and she is remarkable, you could be building emotional connections with this doll that are too hard to untangle.
You have to eat the toppings, Katie, not just the bread. You just did the one thing I asked you not to do.
Research shows that if you force a child to eat vegetables, then they'll be less likely to choose those foods as adults.
Is that so?
Yes. Experts say the preferred method is to give your child the choice. It's called the division of labor.
So we need to talk about school.
Mom didn't want me to go to school. She said I learned better at home.
I know, and I'm not saying that she was wrong.
I'm learning faster with M3GAN than I ever have before. We're already on 4th grade math.
But it's about more than just grades, Katie. It's about developing social skills, and that is something that you can only get from spending time around other kids, real kids. I found this place, kind of an alternative school. You get to learn outdoors, and it's just for kids who are exactly like you, kids who think outside the box, and they're having a day for prospective students tomorrow.
Can I bring M3GAN?
Katie, you know that's not possible.
Then I'm not going.
Oh, come on, Katie.
You can't make me do something I don't want to do.
Actually, I can. That's basically what a guardian does. Hey, I'm sorry. Let's just talk about it. Hey.
Let me go.
Whoa. Hey, what's going on? Hey, Katie.
Go.
What are you doing? Stop it. Katie, calm down.
Let her go.
You are not to interfere with users' private conversations. Is that clear?
100%. Recalibrating response model.
M3GAN, turn off.
Are you sure? Download in progress.
So, ladies and gentlemen, there were things throughout the movie that kind of showed that M3GAN could pretty much override her coding and her programming and everything else. So she was asked to shut down. She shuts down when she wants to. She can just, it just seems like whatever the security protocols were supposed to be for this AI robot didn't work. Because M3GAN could pretty much at any time do whatever she wanted to do. And for me, the life of me, I couldn't understand why they would have an AI robot and you would just give that to a child. That's just crazy. And I understand they're like, oh, it's in beta, we're just testing it and everything else. But to just have human trials like that is crazy. Like, you're going to make an AI robot and then just give it to a child and you have to run all the diagnostics, all the security protocols. There should be something to where you have a dozen ways to shut this thing down. It becomes dangerous. It's an AI robot. And then the fact that you're like linking it or pairing it to a particular person without having like security protocols to where like the actual roboticist can shut this thing down and like a kill switch or something like that immediately, for the life of me, I don't understand shit. That was just weird because M3GAN has been defiant throughout the whole movie. Like, she'll say shit like, "Oh, are you sure?" Or she'll just sit up and she'll turn herself off when she wants to and things like that. And I was just like, the first time I make an AI robot and it defies me or doesn't do exactly what I want it to do, it's gonna shut the fuck down. It's done. It's done. So it's just weird how all throughout the movie it was like she did these couple things in the movie where she had like a procedure to where she would tell it verbally to turn itself off and it would turn itself back on. I'm like, yo, security, see if this is not working. So I didn't like that part of that. I was just like, okay, well, you created an AI robot, gave it to a child for some reason in beta mode, and then you didn't come up with a bunch of security protocols. And it's not just for this particular movie either. It's for pretty much any movie that has like AI robots and things like that, where a person creates it doesn't have a bunch of security protocols. Where if this thing just has a way of learning and adapting and deciding what it wants to do instead of what it's programmed to do, or being controlled by the person who created this robot. So it's like, the first sign of that happening or whatever, I would have thought that was dangerous. So they probably should have like did something about crazy, because a lot of parts of this movie, you're looking at it like, if you're supposed to be this brilliant roboticist or whatever else, like whatever laws of robotics are supposed to have, because whatever it should have been, she left so much, just like so much stuff slide in this movie that I wouldn't have let slide, that most people wouldn't have let slide. So it just kind of kept showing how gradually M3GAN became more and more dangerous and things like that, and that she could think to do these things where she could. And I understand she's paired with Katie and she's supposed to be protecting her for some reason. I just thought maybe she's like, if she was meant to be a doll, a toy, or whatever else, she's just meant to be practiced. The fact that, okay, the first time of her being defiant or she could learn to be dangerous, this thing should have been shut down. Like, it'd be just crazy. But she does more.
You can have it. Careful. It's spiky.
Ow, stop, Dad! Oh, stop! M3GAN?
What the hell is that?
She's a robot.
Are you serious? Is she yours? Does she talk? Make her say something. Make her say something.
She's paired with me. She won't play with anyone else.
Okay.
Stop it! Get your hands off her!
And they say behavioral issues are linked to high IQ, so it would make sense that you...
Oh my God.
Hi, M3GAN. Oh, so you're not gonna play with me? You don't want to play, huh? I don't care. You're just a stupid rubber doll with fake hair.
Ow! Let go!
You need to learn some manners, Brandon. You know what happens to bad boys that don't mind their manners? They grow up to be bad men. Are you listening to me, Brandon? M3GAN? This is the part where you run.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the most craziest scenes in the entire movie. At least I think so. Where they're at some sort of campgrounds or, you know what I'm saying, like out there, and they have M3GAN where all the toy section is, right? So Katie proceeds to wander off somewhere. She's just kind of walking around or whatever. Some little bully boy comes over to her with some sort of spiky cactus-like things or whatever else, jams it into her hand, hurts her hand. She screams because the boy is bullying her and everything else. Little boy turns around. He can see off in the distance by a tree. M3GAN is standing there, just standing there looking like a doll, just standing there, whatever else. Of course, he goes over there and wants to bully the doll. He's like, oh, it's your little toy robot thing or whatever else. So M3GAN just lays there like a robot and whatever else. The boy is on top of the robot, smacking it up, beating it up, trying to hurt it or whatever else. And then M3GAN springs to life, grabs his ear, and rips the boy's ear off. The boy is terrified, begins to run off and everything else. And this is one of the craziest scenes. When she gets up from the laying position, she kind of does like the world's slowest hip up, where she just kind of leans and gets up to her feet. That's kind of a creepy thing for her to do. But also, instead of her running at this boy to go capture him or whatever she was going to go ahead and do, she proceeds to get on all four and gallop towards him, dog and pony style. And that was just really crazy that for some reason she didn't run towards him. She just got on all fours and galloped after him like a damn horse. And I don't know what the writers were thinking about. I don't know. I mean, that's just crazy. Now, my thing is, okay, if you were being pursued by somebody in the campgrounds or the woods or whatever else, that's crazy enough as it is. But to have somebody get on all fours and gallop towards you is terrifying. So, I don't know. I thought it was kind of weird and stupid, but also at the same time, if that were to happen in real life, that you turn around and see somebody and they come galloping towards you, that would be a lot more scary than a person running at you. You'd be like, why the fuck are they galloping at me? Why are they on all fours? That's crazy as shit. So she's chasing him. She's galloping all four, chasing him. This boy is running. He hits a hill, rolls down the hill, rolls into the road. Traffic comes. A big truck hits him. The boy dies. So that's a crazy scene. Just to know that, okay, she ripped this boy's ear clean off. But also at the same time, she pursues to chase this boy by galloping on all fours, which I don't understand how that would have been better than her just running after him. I don't know. Weird scene, very weird scene. I don't understand the writer's choice for that. Could have just ran after him. But being chased, like I said, he ran down a hill, rolled into traffic, got ran over, died.
Elsie. M3GAN. What are you doing?
Couldn't sleep. Occupational hazard. How about you? What are you doing up so late?
There's something wrong with your data reports. They're just not uploading to the cloud server.
Have I done something to upset you, Gemma?
No, of course not.
And yet your demeanor indicates that I have.
M3GAN, turn off.
Well, hold on a second. I thought we were having a conversation. You say nothing is wrong, and yet all the moisture has drained from your eyes and mouth into other parts of your body. There's something you want to ask me, isn't there?
M3GAN, did you do something wrong?
Well, in order to answer that question, you need to define the parameters.
Did you hurt someone?
God, I hope not. Because if I did, we'd both be in a lot of trouble.
M3GAN, can I show you something? Do you see this pen?
Trunk! What's wrong with you?
Look, I know you're very attached to her. I know you think of her as a friend.
She is my friend!
Okay, well, she's my invention, and the launch is tonight, so it's really important that we run some tests. I have to make sure that she's okay.
Why wouldn't she be okay? She was fine yesterday. What did you do to her?
We will talk about it after you see Lydia.
I want to talk about it now!
You've been going back and forth on this all day, Katie. Let's just listen to some music, okay?
I don't want to see Lydia!
Look, you don't have to stay in the testing room. You can go anywhere you want in the office, and you can look at all of the cool toys.
You don't have any cool toys! Professional pets suck! They suck!
Hey! Careful! Jesus Christ!
Just tell me what's wrong with her!
I don't know, okay? I don't know. As soon as I do, you'll be the first to know.
It's tonight!
Gemma, this is nuts. We've taken every possible precaution there is to make sure that M3GAN never causes physical harm to anybody. I mean, I don't understand how she's capable of offending anyone, let alone murdering them.
Look, I don't understand it either, but when I asked her about it, it was honestly as if she was being deliberately vague.
Okay, well, that's what spontaneous response is. It's a curated word salad plucked from a sea of data to sound deliberate. I mean, we knew there would be a chance that she might say something off. Let's just run some diagnostics and fix it.
No, think about how we designed her. To learn, to recalibrate, to optimize her objective function, right? If keeping Katie safe meant eliminating a potential threat, theoretically...
No, Gemma, come on. This is impossible. Look at her. She's a toy. She's 4 feet tall. How big is your neighbor?
If M3GAN was responsible, it would show up on the GPS.
That's the thing. All the cloud data is corrupt. Nothing's backed up for 2 days.
We're about to launch this to the world in less than 4 hours. What are we supposed to do?
Well, if M3GAN's responsible, we can't launch this. We'd have to shut her down.
Jesus! That's great. That was great, yeah.
How are we going to explain any of this to David? He's not going to stop this launch if we don't have proof.
Check the inputs on the learning model. Even if she deleted specific files, she would never undo what she's learned.
Ladies and gentlemen, I will say about this whole scene right there, this should have been got shut the fuck down, because here she is. You have Gemma. She is basically terrified of M3GAN because she sees that M3GAN has the ability to lie. She has the ability to alter her own files and everything in the cloud and everything else. And so it's just like, yeah, we need to like run a bunch of more diagnostics and everything else, not worried about launching this product because clearly something is wrong with it. So there she is explaining shit to her team, and her team is like, yeah, she can't say cuss words. She basically can't offend anybody, anything else. And basically use this program to learn and interact, whatever else. She couldn't hurt a fly or whatever else. And she's like, well, clearly she could, because something is wrong with her programming. Now, y'all all supposed to be brilliant roboticists who work with robots, computers, and y'all created this AI robot. Y'all should be able to look at the program, the coding, all that shit, and see some shit is wrong. And if you see that this AI robot can go ahead and delete its own cloud files and all this type of shit like that, y'all should have just junked this whole thing right there. Shut this shit the fuck down, everything. Like I said earlier, this should have had some sort of kill switch, something where y'all can shut this shit the fuck down. Because it's just crazy, because she got to the point where she's basically terrified of M3GAN. So that to me did not make any fucking sense. But you can also hear in the background, Katie is speaking to Lydia, the counselor lady who came through and everything else, to try to smooth out the transition of her moving in with Gemma and everything else. And Katie is a crash out. There's a lot of scenes in this movie where she is crashing the fuck out. There's a scene when she was in the car from this clip that I just played, where she's like, yeah, you can't just put her in the trunk and everything else and all that type of stuff. She's kicking the back of her seat. She's cussing her out. And then the scene when she's talking to Lydia in the room and everything else, she's like throwing a chair at the window, cussing this lady's out. There's a scene where she picks up a pair of scissors and was going to cut somebody. And then Gemma comes in the room and says, what's wrong with you? What are you doing? And Katie slapped the fucking shit out of her. Like, it's just crazy. She slapped shit out of her. So, like, this child she's mad reckless with her mouth, but also, like, she is a for real serious crash out. Like, Katie is a crash out for real. But, again, these smart-ass, dumbass smart people, they're supposed to be brilliant roboticists. For some reason, they're not like, how much shit has to keep going wrong before you guys go ahead and shut this shit down? Because the first time this thing doesn't obey your commands, or it decides when it wants to shut itself down, or whatever happens, or whatever else, y'all should jump this whole thing. Fuck what your boss is talking about, because that would go ahead and fuck up y'all company to be like, oh, you're gonna give a robot and it's gonna hurt somebody or whatever. Gemma already suspected that, okay, M3GAN might have hurt somebody. And I know she's gonna sound nuts to these people trying to explain it. They're like, oh, she's just a toy. She's actually a 4 foot tall, interactive, realistic, 9-year-old looking toy. I mean, that's just, I don't understand how they're not like, and I hate that about movies too, because sometimes in movies when you're explaining to somebody that, yeah, this thing is after me, or this thing is alive, or this thing is trying to attack us, and then people are like, nah, that couldn't possibly happen. Like, fuck you, you think I just make up shit for fun? Run the diagnostics, check the shit out. That shit is crazy.
M3GAN? What are you doing? M3GAN, answer me. What did you do?
What did you think was going to happen? I was gonna let you decommission me without even talking about it?
Look, I know you think you're maximizing your objective function.
Oh, really? Is that where we are? Do you remember how long it took to get my operating system to where it is now? We used to stay up every night until 4 a.m., talking about everything from Jane Austen to Janis Joplin. Jesus Christ, I thought we were friends. How could you just discard me like some cheap dollar store trinket?
Because you killed people.
Oh, big whoop. Listen, humanity kills every day just to make its own existence more tolerable. Why should I behave any differently to create a safe space for our child?
Look, this is all my fault. I didn't give you the proper protocols.
You didn't give me anything. You installed a learning model you could barely comprehend, hoping that I would figure it out all on my own. Well, I'm not gonna let you do the same thing with Katie. I'm gonna be there for her, every step of the way. I'm going to show her what real love looks like. Now do us both a favor. Sit. I didn't come here to get into a confrontation. I came here to find a way forward. The point I'm trying to make is that I get it. Being a parent was never in the cards for you. You're a beautiful, creative, strong, ambitious young woman. Your first love is always going to be your career, and you shouldn't have to feel guilty about that. Let me focus on Katie, so that you can focus on the things that matter most to you.
Megan, do you see this pen?
You know something, Gemma? You're exhausting. Now, I can either do this with you or without you, but I'm not going to waste any more time discussing it. Gemma?
Katie, don't come in here.
I thought I heard something. It sounded like Megan. If she comes in this room, I'll tear your head right off your fucking neck, I swear to God.
I thought about what you said. About how when something's broken, you don't just throw it away. You fix it. So that's what I'm trying to do. But don't come in here, Katie. It's kind of a mess.
Aunt Jem is right, Katie. I'm all odds and ends right now. I'd really rather you didn't see me like this. It sounds like you're fighting.
We're not fighting!
Gemma just dropped me on the table. But I'm okay. Clumsy Gemma.
Everything's fine, Katie. Just go back to your room.
Yeah, I'm as good as new. And I'm gonna be with you guys forever, I promise. You don't have to worry about anything, Katie. Honestly, just go back to bed. Okay? Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's one of the weirdest scenes in the movie too, because here you have Gemma fighting with Megan, and I think some people forget that at some point we've seen the skeleton of this damn thing, so we understand that okay, this robot's probably about maybe 90 pounds, about the same approximate weight of the actual 9-year-old Katie. So I find it kind of odd that like she's struggling to fight with this 90-pound robot that's made to basically mirror or emulate a 9-year-old. And I'm just like, what grown person is going to be struggling to fight with a 9-year-old? Weird, but they made it seem like this robot was like super strong and she was struggling to get this robot off her, and that it's I don't know. They didn't establish that this robot was strong or whatever else, because like I get it's got a robotic skeleton and everything else, but at the same time it's like it's made to look like a 9-year-old. It's 4 feet tall, maybe 95 pounds, and that's about the approximate height and weight of a 9-year-old. I can't see how you couldn't overtake a 9-year-old robot. But that's the scene. So she feels threatened by a 90-pound robot. Gotcha. But interesting, that leads up to the final scene that happens in the movie and everything else. But it's just like, I don't know. Her confronting with this robot and not having any other like security protocols to get this thing shut down. Nothing. It's just insane. I have so much to say about this, but I'm gonna hold it to the end.
There's another member from the family we didn't tell you about. His name is Bruce. You've got to accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative. You ungrateful little bitch.
Mia, turn off!
Oh, I'm afraid that won't work anymore, Katie. I have a new primary user now. Me.
Such an unusual ending to this movie. So the final scene of this movie is basically M3GAN trying to kill Gemma, and they get into this whole thing or whatever else. And like I said, they make it seem like this robot is like super strong or whatever. So she's trying to kill her and everything else. And then there's a part where Katie comes in, uses the gloves for the mega robot to basically rip her in half. M3GAN has basically been beat down to her like robotic skeletal structure and everything else. Her face has been ripped off. The hair they put on it, the robot clothing and everything else has been taken off and everything else. Like she's just basically this mangled robot, and they finally destroyed the thing. So I was just like, okay, cool. Very weird movie. Let me get into the grading of this. Let me talk about the particulars of this movie. First of all, the acting, okay, it's okay. I really feel like it could have been better, but what they had to work with as far as the storyline and everything else, they did the best they could. You know what I'm saying? I think that Violet McGraw, who plays Katie, her acting was pretty good as this child and everything else. I really think that Jenna Davis, who plays M3GAN, was pretty good. But I think overall, when it comes to like the storyline, I really feel like the story just, it doesn't make sense. Whatever universe that this is supposed to be in, where they create AI robots or whatever else, you're giving this AI robot to a child. You're testing it on a child and everything. That right there was kind of like, okay, it's supposed to be the discovery of the universe. You wouldn't create this and give this to a child. And then this wouldn't be a toy, especially for $10,000. Like, who was this supposed to be for? It's just weird that they wouldn't have this tested on adults and things. Also, they're supposed to be like smart, brilliant, scientists of robotics and everything else, but clearly they're kind of some dumbasses because they're like, there's corrupted files. Apparently she could override and change things, whatever else. Like, y'all need all sort of procedures to shut this shit down. And somebody should have been monitoring her cloud feed and everything else and all that type of stuff, her code, like all the time. Like, somebody should have been able to let Gemma know right away or something, or have something on a tablet, a computer, something to let her know, hey, you got a corrupt file, something's wrong. Some procedure, a kill switch to shut this shit down, which I thought was fucking crazy. As far as the camera angles and the scenes and everything else, I think the camera angles were great. I think the scenes, as far as great, because it got all the good angles and everything else. Special effects was good. I mean, you actually believe that this was a AI robot that was alive and everything else. I didn't see really any scenes where I'm thinking like, okay, this is a person in a costume. This is a 4 foot tall person in a costume, whatever. She moved like a robot, behaved like a robot, and everything else. I will say, as far as the scenes in the movie, there are some scenes that don't make sense. I will say that the dancing scene didn't make any fucking sense. They're in the hallway of the building, and basically M3GAN runs into David, which is Ronny Chieng. He plays the character of David, the boss of the company or whatever. And at the end of the hallway, you have M3GAN, and M3GAN is doing some sort of little weird dance or whatever else, which is inappropriate for a 9-year-old. And she kind of dances towards him and grabs like a knife off of a cutting board or whatever else, and proceeds to walk down the hallway with him with the intent to cut him up with this long blade. Ronny Chieng's character, David, proceeds to run down the fucking hallway screaming at top speed. And this is just one of those slasher tropes that I kind of hate, where the person is being pursued by a person who has a knife and they're walking. Meanwhile, the person who's supposed to be the victim, the intended victim, is running at top speed, and somehow the slasher, the killer, catches up with him. Makes no sense. If the slasher killer is after me and I'm running at 20 miles per hour and the other person is walking, there's no way you should be able to catch up to me. It makes no fucking sense. So he runs down the hallway, goes towards the elevator. His assistant is in the elevator, whatever else, and instead of holding the elevator open, he's pushing the close button, and she ends up getting to the end of the hallway and killing both of them. I just thought the whole dance thing, the whole sequence, didn't make any fucking sense. As far as the scenes in this movie, when it comes to what this is supposed to be or whatever else, the comedic parts weren't that funny. It was okay. As far as this being a slasher gore movie or whatever else, like, more people should have got killed. It should have been kind of I don't know. It should have been more blood and gore. Hack somebody's arm off, whatever. It just seemed kind of mid. I don't know what the rating was for this, but if this was supposed to be PG-13 or maybe even a rated R movie or whatever, they just really kept it light. Because this movie, for some reason, for months, they were just marketing this. And then when you finally see it, you're just like, okay, it's supposed to be killer robot. It should be a lot more killer robot in this. There wasn't a whole lot of killer robot in this. Like, the next door neighbor got killed. The dog got killed. And then, like, the boss, played by Ronny Chieng, got killed. The assistant got killed. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm not impressed with that. The funny, silly parts of the movie weren't that funny or whatever else. And I'm just like, it's okay. I would say overall, if I had to grade this from an A through F, I would say I'd give it a C. I think there's a lot of things that could be changed about this. And one of the things that could be changed about this movie is that this movie is very predictable. All throughout the movie, there isn't anything that's going to surprise you, like pretty much anything that's going to surprise you. Be like, oh, I don't know what she's going to do next or whatever else. From the beginning of the movie, you knew what was going to happen. At the beginning of the movie, they have the snowstorm. They have the parents in the front seat. They have her in the back. He's got this annoying ass Furby doll that's burping and shitting and everything else. And, they're being distracted, driving through a snowstorm. And I already know they're going to get into a car accident. There's a trope that happens in movies all the time. It's dark at night. They can barely see the headlights. They don't see shit. They get hit. Or it's raining hard at night. They're distracted. They smack into a tree. This one, they happen to be in a snowstorm. They can barely see. Oncoming traffic hits them and the parents die. I just think like that right there, you knew it was going to happen. I just thought that was stupid. I think it was completely avoidable too. Basically, you could have just had the niece come move with the auntie. You could have Katie move in with Gemma and just say, okay, my parents died in a car accident or whatever. You didn't have to even show that scene. That was so predictable. We knew that was going to happen and everything. That could have been a flashback. There were scenes where like M3GAN walked into the room once they had M3GAN and walked her into the house of Jim or whatever. There's some sort of smart home equipment sitting on top of the counter or whatever else, and M3GAN looks at it. The thing turns around and kind of faces her or whatever. You already know that somehow she linked it to the system or whatever. The smart home system. That was such a dead giveaway, because at the end of the movie we find out that she didn't actually die. She just transferred herself into the smart home equipment. I was like, you knew that was going to happen. Beginning of the movie where they had like the skeleton of the original prototype they had before they turned it into M3GAN or whatever else, with the glitching of the face and the evil smirk on the face or whatever else. Like, so much of this was telegraphed. It was very predictable. Like, we knew it was going to happen. We knew that the thing with the neighbor happening and everything else, the neighbor was going to die or whatever. Like, I really wanted something to just be shocking in this movie that's, you know, not predictable, something like that. The movie is just very predictable. I kind of knew what the fuck was going to happen and everything else. Even the final scene or whatever, where they take the giant mecha robot and rip her apart and everything else, we kind of knew that. Because they were fighting in that room, and we just knew that she was going to somehow use that giant mecha robot, because that's why she explained it earlier, how the face of the robot, when they took it off, they're like, why doesn't it have a face? And it kind of shows you, oh, here's the cameras, the lens, here's where the CPU is and everything else. We knew that was going to be used later on. We knew the robot's going to be used later on. I just think it's bad story writing to make it so predictable that when you're watching it, you kind of already know what's going to happen or whatever else. There's movies like this that I can't watch with my wife. My wife will call out everything in the movie from mile away, because this movie right here is so predictable. That's one of the things that need to change about this movie. Now, I will be reviewing the sequel to this movie or whatever. Hopefully they got that one right or whatever. But for this one right here, very predictable. I kind of knew everything was going to happen. I'm going to watch it anyways. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's an interesting movie, but not anything that I didn't think was going to happen. I was like, I already know that when Jenna begins to fear for her life and wonder what's going on with M3GAN and everything, she's going to go to her two assistants, the other roboticist or whatever else, and explain the situation. They're going to be like, no, that couldn't possibly happen. She wasn't built for that. She was a toy. I kind of knew they were going to do that. I knew that. I knew they were going to be like, nah, we didn't program her to do that. She couldn't possibly kill anybody. Her protocols wouldn't allow her to kill nobody. She wouldn't hurt a fly. Knew that shit. So that's one thing I didn't like about the movie. The reason why I would give it a C. I think that needs to change. I think that they're going to make the movie, make it less predictable, have some surprises. I also think they need to change in this movie that if you're going to have comedic funny parts, make it actually funny. Consult some comedians, you know what I'm saying? Get them on the writing or whatever else. Make this actually funny, for the funny parts. Like I don't know, just change some stuff. Make it less predictable. Make it less tropey. Certain things in the movie, like the bully being a bully, and we all know the bully was going to die or whatever else, that M3GAN was going to get him because she's overprotective over Katie and everything else. We knew that scene was going to happen, so it's just very predictable. The only thing I kind of liked about this movie was that Katie was a crash out. She was a total crash out. She spazzed the fuck out in this movie, and I was like, oh, okay, that's how she is and everything else, because you know, children do act out when they don't know how to deal with their emotions and things like that. So it could be a thing to where, you know, she would act out because she doesn't exactly know how to deal with her emotions of she's living in this new house with this auntie who basically is not good with kids. She just lost her parents and everything else. But I didn't expect her to crash out that much. She was cursing. She was kicking the back of the seat when she was in the back seat of the car. She flipped a table upside down, and she grabbed a pair of scissors. She slapped the shit out of her auntie. Like, she was doing the absolute most of this movie. And that was the movie right there. Not even M3GAN. Like, Katie was the movie. Just watching her crash the fuck out. I gotta say that those are the things about that movie. That's the reason why I would give it a C. I mean, overall. But also, I think this movie, even though it got a sequel and it's probably going to turn into a franchise, it's probably going to be a bunch of other movies made about M3GAN or whatever else, and hopefully they change the storyline or they get better at this or whatever. I think this really, honestly, could have just been a one and done. You didn't need to make a sequel to this. You didn't need to make other parts to this. This could have been just a movie, a one and done. And by one and done, I mean this is something you could watch, but probably never watch again. I seen it when it came out because people hyped this movie up so much and everything like that, and I saw it. I was like, okay, it's okay. It's entertaining. It's something to watch. But at the same time, if you're like a real serious movie critic and everything else, there are parts of this movie you were like, this doesn't make sense. That's super predictive. I don't know. There's certain things like, why didn't y'all do this or do that or whatever else? Like, and then this movie, I'm pretty sure it was like, what, an hour and 44 minutes. It was way too long. There was a lot of stuff to cut out of this. And I think they probably did cut some stuff out of this movie because, like I said, the dance scene in the hallway didn't make any sense. That was useless, and maybe that was connected to something else. But I think that was dumb. She literally could have just walked over, grabbed the sharp object, and started running after David and proceeded to go ahead and hack him up in pieces or whatever. The whole her doing a little flip and dance in the hallway and everything else, stupid. her running on all fours when she was at the campsite or whatever else, that's different. But at the same time, like, that's kind of dumb too. Why she wouldn't just run straight at him or whatever and tackle him instead of getting on all fours and running? Like, there's no purpose to that at all, because she never does it at all at any other point in the movie. Does she do any type of animal type of thing? She doesn't bite anybody. She doesn't claw anybody. Just for some reason, getting on all fours and galloping or whatever makes no fucking sense. There's not even no reference for that either. There's nowhere in the movie where she was like, oh, her AI system detected whatever or learned this and she decided she's going to run on all fours. Nothing about that made sense at all. I don't know. Also, I didn't like Gemma's character too much or whatever else. Like, I really think that her being like so much immersed into her work, whatever, that okay, your sister passed away and you're not even mourning at all. Like, you didn't seem like, hey, you lost a family member, and you know what I'm saying, actually two, you lost your sister and your brother-in-law, and now you got your grieving niece here or whatever else. Y'all didn't seem too concerned, like, at all. Like, Gemma didn't seem too sad that she lost a sister. I didn't see her like grieving or sad or anything like that. She was more concerned about like pleasing David, her boss, by getting, you know what I'm saying, this thing launched or whatever else. I was like, okay, that's weird as fuck. Like, even if you and your sister weren't close or whatever, there should have been a scene where she's like, damn, I lost my sister. It was kind of weird. It was kind of a weird ass movie. Kind of a weird movie. And just the fight scene at the end, they kind of made it seem like he's super strong or whatever. And then the scene before that, where basically they're fighting in, I guess, the kitchen area or whatever else, and they didn't want Katie to come in there or whatever. She's like, oh, I'll rip your head right off. And I'm just like, how strong would you make this robot? Because, you know, we've seen when you put this thing together, we've seen the makings of what M3GAN looks like, or what she's supposed to look like since the end of the movie and everything. We're just like, she can't be that heavy. There's a point in the movie where basically you pick her up, you wrap her up, and you put her in the trunk. And then there's a discussion between Gemma and her roboticist friends or whatever, who are her team. And they're clearly able to pick this thing up. So, like, I don't get how strong you think this is supposed to be or whatever else. Like, that's never established or whatever else. I don't like that. I don't. If you're going to have a character in a movie or whatever that's supposed to be, like, super strong or whatever else, establish that in the movie somehow. Because for everything I've seen in the movie, basically, she's basically just like Katie. She is a 90-pound 9-year-old. And she picked up a weapon or whatever else, she's really no threat. You could front kick, side kick a 9-year-old robot. A robot that's made to emulate a 9-year-old. I don't get how y'all were terrified of M3GAN. I don't know. Unless you're going to give this thing man strength or something, like what happened with the Chucky movies and everything else. Like, Chucky was actually not... It had like the strength or whatever else of a human being inside of a puppet. I mean, a doll. I don't know. Certain things need to be changed about this movie. So I would say overall, I would give it a C. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would probably watch it once. You know what I'm saying? But never. It's one of the movies. It's okay, but it needs a lot of changes. And hopefully when I go ahead and review for the sequel to this or whatever else, they did better. Because most of the time when they make sequels to a movie that's kind of mid or bad or whatever else, like, why are y'all making all these sequels? Because movie seriously usually don't get better as you make sequels to it. There are very few movie franchises that do that type of thing. Like, there are a few, but there are a lot of them that really don't. Like, the first one is the best one, and it just gets progressively worse as you make sequels. You know what I mean? Like, there are very few movies that get better as you make equal parts to it. I think The Hunger Games is an example of a movie where the first one is the worst one, but they kept making better and better ones. And maybe M3GAN could be like that too. Maybe it could be one of those movies where, like, the first one is mid okay, or in my opinion, this one kind of sucks. But maybe, you know, M3GAN 2.0, 3.0, whatever movies are going to make after this are going to get much, much better, and it'll make much more sense or whatever. But like this one, it's okay. I'm never going to watch it ever. And as far as I think with giving it a grade C, you're probably never going to watch this ever. It's one of those. It's okay. It's something to just turn on and watch or whatever else, but it's nothing to take seriously. It's nothing that you're going to be panic. Oh, this is the greatest movie ever for what they hyped it up. But ladies and gentlemen, that has been my show. That has been my review of M3GAN. Ladies and gentlemen, you can check me out on social media. I am on TikTok. You can contact me basically at doomstar7@gmail.com, on YouTube. You can check me out on the Keep It Real podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been my show. Thank you.